All right. Happy Monday rolling out. This is Crystal Jordan, and you guys know it is reality check time. It is reality check time. Now, today, instead of our usual conversation with talent, today I thought, you know what? There's so much going on. I talk about hot topics from time to time and actually talk about, sometimes I'll ask a guest, their thoughts on certain things. But I decided to bring on one of the most hard hitting journalists that I know. And so he's going to come on and join us. We're going to talk about some of the things that are happening because really there's so much trending on social media that's happening in real time. We're all inundated constantly with it. And so there's just, I mean, from the Oscars to Coachella to, what we see happening on television. It's all kinds of things happening. Actually, tomorrow morning I have I do my Fox segment with Good Day Atlanta, and we're talking about another celebrity relationship that's in peril. But today, I have my guy Dennis Byron is going to join me, and I want to hear what you guys think. I love my chats. I think are absolutely monumental. You guys always let me know your thoughts. You let me know if you think the person is BSing us. So today, we don't have to be worried about feelings. We can just really get into it. Trust me, Dennis Byron he is a credible journalist. One of those things that one of those people that I really respect. Thank you, Tiffany. You guys like the sign. So this is a new set. I want to know what you guys think about the set. I love the sign. And if anybody is looking to add a little bit of professional touch to what they have going on, please let me know. I'd love to connect you with the young lady that did this for me because she is awesome. But I want to get into these conversations. I want to know, like I said, what you guys have to say. The chat is welcome. You guys go ahead and get started. I'm going to bring on Mr. Dennis Byron. Now, you all I'm sure you guys have seen his coverage. He is one of the leading journalists that is covering cases, and I haven't seen anyone be able to be on the scene, out of the courtroom, and deliver the factual information because it's easy for anyone to get on YouTube or get on live on social and say what they think. But for the people to actually do the fact checking, actually put that work in and bring you guys the real, honest, truth. I value that, and I hope you do too, because we're definitely living in a time where there is a lot of fake news. So for today's reality check, please help me welcome my guest, Mr. Dennis Byron.
Crystal, CJ, what's going on? Happy,
Hey,
happy post Easter.
yes, yes. How
Happy
was your
post
How
Easter.
was your Easter holiday?
Uh, you know, I'm Muslim, so I really didn't partake in the festivities that you did. I just got on the grill and cooked with something normal stuff.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
you had to, put me out there like that, but I do the Easter. You do, I had to come. I
That's
guess I had to come
okay.
back.
That's all right. I do know that you cook because I did see that you were cooking. I saw you were making turkey burgers.
Yes, yes. I don't
Okay,
eat red meat, so it's definitely turkey for the evening.
nice. Okay.
Yeah,
See,
real man cook.
real men cook. We love that. Well, real men cook, and as I mentioned, like
And they get the
before,
eyebrows cleaned up as well.
I see that. I was gonna ask you about that. So you decided to do a little self care and try something different and did you get your eyebrows threaded?
Well, I guess it's thread. They used to thread to clean the line it up. Yeah, I did that.
Did they take
Absolutely.
the little piece of thread and go over your eyes?
Oh yeah, that thing was painful.
Ladies, we're used to that. We have to do stuff like that all the time.
Well, I
So
won't be doing that all the time. It was, and interestingly, I didn't start out to do that. I went to get a manicure, and I wanted to use the restroom, and their restroom was broken. So they said, go next door and see if you can use the restroom over there. So I said, okay. I walked over. They said, well, no, you can't use the restroom. I said, what do I have to buy? So you got to get your eyebrows done. I said, okay, I'll do it, but let me use the restroom first.
it really, when you get your eyebrows, it frames your face, right? It frames. So I'm sure you've gotten some compliments because
Yeah,
it just makes your eyes pop a little bit. Women, we have to do
yeah.
this stuff all the time.
I really didn't notice.
Look. Hey, Rochelle, thank you so much for making the live. Tiffany asked, is Dennis really a Muslim? You know what? We're going to leave that alone. We're going to, I have no idea. And sounds like Tiffany knows that you can be a little bit of a jokester on
No,
occasion.
I'm
So,
not a jokester. I am a Muslim.
Okay, but
Absolutely,
you are
absolutely.
also a jokester though.
Yeah, Joseph, but
But you're
they're
but
they're
that okay.
they're Muslim comedians as well, by the way.
Absolutely.
How about that? But we
Okay.
just don't let nobody come on stage slapping us.
Did you have to start? And so
Hey, hey.
and so we're into today's trending topic. Now, I don't have a picture on this one. I pulled some pictures for some of the other ones because I kind of debated talking about this because I know people are so kind of over this whole Will Smith, Chris Rock issue. But, I've talked about it a little bit, but I want to read something. There was a post put up on social talking about the aftermath, that's happened since Will Smith, kind of stepped outside of character. And so I want to get you guys' opinion on this, but I'm going to read some of the things that people are saying have happened to him since he walked up on stage and made that decision to slap Chris Rock. It says 10 years of the Oscar ceremony was vetoed. His biographical film was canceled. Now you guys know that Will Smith's book, and I actually have it. It's not right here. It's over on the other side, but Will Smith had a deal to do a movie based on his book, Will. So that was already in the works. I mean, they did a huge rollout. They spent a bunch of money on the rollout for that book. I don't know if you got one of the books when they sent them out to media and press, but I mean, it was super elaborate. And we knew that the movie was on the way. So people are saying that there's rumors that the biographical film is canceled. Bad Boys 4 has been canceled. The Fast and Loose movie he was shooting for Netflix has been canceled. Now I know that the movie is on hold. I don't know if it's canceled. I do know that it is on hold. I heard that from a source that works for Netflix. The movie I Am Legend 2 no longer wants it, and they offered the role, no longer wants Will. They offered the role to Michael B. Jordan. I'm not sure about that. It says he was expelled from the Academy of Sciences and Cinematic Arts. He did not resign, he was fired. His wife didn't back him up. In an interview for American Weekly, he declared that she didn't ask to be saved and she called him exaggerated. We know that August Alsina has come out and said that he is going to do a book. And of course, we know Chris Rock's brothers are, have definitely stated that they are looking for Will. Tony Rock immediately got with it, and I think anybody who saw their brother or their son or their father hit that way would want some type of, retribution or at least revenge. Actually, in my
It
case,
was also good material for Tony as well as his other brother that did the interview with TMZ with my good friend Celia Simone. Uh, he too wanted to get in a celebrity boxing match, but I think that
well, let
while
me let me let me get these last two. It says that the dramatic series Bel Air reboot of The Fresh Prince is being smashed by criticism. I will say that that show, even though it's been doing really well, the criticism was happening prior to the Oscars, right? Because I think a lot of people thought Bel Air was going to be a complete reboot of Fresh Prince, but it's very different. It has a different perspective and a different, even though the characters' names are the same, they're dealing with different issues and it's a different show. So I think people were criticizing that show prior. And at the moment, it's been reported, of course, that he's in a rehab center, which for me as a publicist, I feel like that's always the thing that celebrities are encouraged to do. If you go into rehab, it looks like you were out of control and you're trying to get help. Actually, that's probably anyone. If you get a DUI, people are going to tell you to go to counseling, go to therapy, go to anger management, go to, Alcoholics Anonymous to get the judge to look a little bit, to be a little bit more lenient with
absolutely.
your sentence. So I think that felt like a PR play to me.
Well,
What do you think
it
about
not,
this?
it might he might have need to do that. Anger management is something that serious. And
Right.
when the whole world is watching, I mean, how else do you clean your image up than to go on rehab? I would just say celebrities done that all the time. From alcohol, anger management is something that courts typically order in these type of cases. If it was prosecuted, that would probably have been a condition of whatever the outcome of the case would have been. So
Right.
I mean, I commend him for seeking help for his issue because clearly his wife is she's attending red carpets, and going on with her life. so to speak. I'm addressing the last red carpet she attended without him.
Right.
I just thought maybe she could have like waited until he came out of rehab.
I ain't gonna lie. I did think that was odd. Because this all happened because of him trying to
Defend her honor.
defend her honor. And so for her to be out um at a red carpet, I mean, and not at a red carpet defending, I would think if you would go, you would speak on his behalf and defend his honor, right? But that's not, she's very clear that she did not need him to do that. She didn't want him to do that. So
But she didn't stop him either from doing it. She didn't stop him from, hey, honey, no, 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 you don't have to do that.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
I know for me, I said this like as a wife, if you see your husband getting up and angry, you just lay a hand on him. That could have happened, that didn't happen. But here we are. What do you think as far as, because all these movies, we know that there have been people stripped of their sponsorship deals, their endorsement deals, and all it takes is a hit record or a great season to win the championship, and all that comes right back. I think Will Smith has been a Hollywood A-lister for the last 30 years. So I don't see him really losing. And he owns his own production company. We know that he owns
Right.
Overbrook. I don't really see him being unable to work or being ostracized from Hollywood because of this. What do you think?
Well, I'm hearing the contrary. I'm hearing that he's getting offer roles left and right, and he's just haven't accepted any of them. And and you mentioned he has his own production company, so they're not going to stop him from working.
Right.
He'll get past this. This is he didn't kill anyone. He might have hurt someone's earlobe. According to Chris, he couldn't hear out of his ear. But when you get in a fight, typically things like that happen. We don't, but they're going to test all that. They're going to have to get, if he goes to sue, they're going to test his hearing, and they're going to do. He's not just going to run in court and say, "Listen, I want 10 million." It's not going to happen that easy.
Right.
You know.
Do you think that how does that work? So if Chris Rock does sue Will, if he sues him, would that be a civil suit
Yeah,
because
it'll be a
of what
civil suit.
happened?
It'll
Okay.
be a civil suit because there's no. You got to remember that there was no arrest made at the time.
Hmm.
He also, according to the producer Will Packer, he didn't want to proceed in any criminal action. Now he obviously knows now that a civil suit is on the table.
Hmm.
Will it get to civil court? Probably not. They probably
Settle.
so yeah. It's not. It was enough embarrassment.
Yeah.
Now the question is, what is the tab going to be? How
I
much
don't
is a
know.
slap?
The
Yeah.
tab would have to be expensive. Tiffany says he heard him when he was yelling, so Chris is full of it. I mean, if he, I think Holly Berry lost hearing in.
Tiffany. Wait a minute. Tiffany makes a good point. She makes a good point
But
because
but
Mike
he
Will
still
didn't have
had
a
hearing in the
microphone.
other ear. If you hit a
Okay,
person,
all
they
right,
they
there you
lose
go.
hearing in one ear. You could still hear out the other ear.
You already
Um,
built a defense for Chris Rock
for Chris
because
Rock,
yeah.
I mean, he got embarrassed and humiliated, and I just don't understand. It befuddles me that no one gives a damn. It's like I don't
Well,
understand that.
and to Will's defense in a civil case, Chris went on to do shows, and he's went on to do shows. He's heard this hecklers, chant, F Will Smith. So I don't know that, I think the embarrassment is enough for a civil claim. The embarrassment, and Chris is not just going to sue Will Smith. He's going to sue producers. He's going to sue the Academy. Where was the security at? Most people thought it was a part of the show, but
That's
clearly,
what. So Daryl asked. I'm wondering if Chris Rock is going to sue the Academy because it was their responsibility to provide some type of security or preventative measures. And you and I talked about that earlier. Um, you know, is their fault on behalf of the Academy? We know that Will Packer produced this. My opinion would be no, but I'm not a legal analyst at all. Just because at what point have we ever seen someone seated on the front row of the Oscars or an award ceremony of that caliber for someone from the front row to get up and walk on stage and assault the host. Like that's never happened. So
No, it was the
I don't think
Academy
they could have been
winner who
prepared for that.
the Academy winner assaulted the host. The Academy winner.
The Academy winner for Best Actor, no less, assaulted the host. Well,
Never happened in the history. Never
never,
happened
never.
in the
What,
history of the
Dennis?
Academy.
What are your predictions for this? If they do go and there is a civil suit filed, what are your predictions as far? Do you feel like it would go against Will Smith? Do you feel like it would be towards the Academy? Where do you think this is going to
Well,
fall out?
any smart civil attorney is going to sue everybody because they want to get a piece of everybody. It may be they may sue Will for 2 million, they may sue the Academy for one, they may sue Will Packer for another these are millions. But they
Mm,
got if you exclude the Academy and the civil suit, that's going to raise eyebrows as well because why is the Academy absolved from any lawsuit when it was under their banner? It was
right.
the Academy. So I would say sue everybody. You
Well,
know,
I will say that the Academy acted irresponsibly when it happened because they did put out information stating that they had asked Will Smith to leave. We learned later that that never happened. Then they came back and said, "Okay, they were just trying to, hurry up and try to do something because this is something that's never happened before." But I think there is some accountability on their behalf because also Chris Rock, he does tell them what he has to submit to them what he's going to talk about. He doesn't have to give them his exact script, but there should have been some, if people are going to become upset and retaliate, the Academy is also responsible for the fact that they allow that to happen. And there were other celebrities roasted that night, and are always, that's what happens at the Oscars, or when there's an event like that, there's always a little bit of roasting or comical, relief. And so if that's the issue, then the Oscars could be
you got to remember he's hosted the Oscars before in 2016, so they know what they were getting. So I don't think that the Academy can say that, well, we didn't know. You know what you were getting, and then it wasn't a bad joke. In my opinion, it wasn't a bad joke. It was a joke that, I mean, she even said it based on her post interview. So then she did pre-interviews where she said her hair being in that condition didn't bother her. So I don't understand how Will react in that manner when she said it, but I think it was more personal with Chris Rock and Will and her on just feeling like she's been the butt of jokes and she wasn't feeling it. But I don't think it had a lot to do with her hair
I
or
don't think
lack
so. He
thereof.
said GI Jane 2, can't wait to see it. And that, again, I stress, I've said this last time, it was a hit movie. Demi Moore was praised for her role and for the fact that she shaved her head. And Jada Pinkett looked absolutely amazing that night. Like I don't think it
She
was
looked
a
she looked beautiful.
she looked beautiful. She's, I mean, beautiful woman, but that green dress, she was stunning that night.
Absolutely.
So I don't know, but I don't want to spend too much time on this. I do want to say one more comment. Daryl says John Wayne tried to assault an actress accepting the Oscar for Marlon Brando back in 1973, but security held him back. I did not know about that, so I will definitely.
Were you even around then?
No, I don't think Daryl was around then. I
I'm talking about
wasn't.
you.
No, neither was he. I know he and I went to school together, so I was born a couple years later, as was
Okay,
he. So,
okay.
but yeah, um, Casey Johnson says Will has been the butt of jokes for the past 3 years. That's the real issue. I don't. At this point, I think it'll be interesting to hear what Will has to say. I definitely don't think that anyone is trying to cancel Will Smith, but I'm interested to see how much and if we will even know the amount because I've asked you before on other celebrity cases, are there situations where the amount of money given when the settlement is not able to be shared with the public? Is that something you could see happening where we don't find out how much the
Well,
settlement
the
is
only
for?
the only way you would find out, the only way that would happen if it's a a settlement. in a private settlement, and they're going to probably be a confidentiality clause in it. No one will undisclosed amount will settle. That's the only way. If it goes to the open court, obviously it's going to whatever the 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 if it's he's found liable, because it won't be guilty or innocent, it'll be liable
Mm,
or not liable. If he's
mhm.
found liable, then they'll come up with a dollar amount, for damages, compensatory damages, and punitive damages. You
Okay.
know, and that's how it typically play out.
Okay. Well, that's why you're here, because you got you can tell us how this thing is going to work. If you guys are just joining, this is Reality Check, and today we are dealing with hot topics only. So we just finished talking about the fallout of Will Smith and what his career is going to look like after this Oscars debacle. Next, I want to talk about something exciting, because I have been loving the new Essence, the new refreshed Essence covers. We know that there's new ownership, new management over there. They did an amazing cover with Tiana Taylor and Iman Schubert, but this cover with Cardi B and her family is absolutely stunning. Cardi B and Offset wrapped in love. I mean, Essence has stepped it up. These pictures are breathtaking,
Oh, they're
um,
beautiful. Yeah.
beautiful. Beautiful. And this is my favorite one right here. I mean, the baby there. We see Culture and Offset's other children. And
Wave. That's Wave.
Wave the
Wave on
baby.
top. The
Yes,
baby is Wave, and his other children.
yes.
Beautiful.
So and Dennis, I know that you work with their camp a lot. Did you know the
Who, me?
baby's name was Wave?
I knew it when you knew it, and I don't work with the camp.
Okay, all right. Well,
I might,
I'm
I might, I might have in the past, but currently I don't. No.
you have worked with them in the past.
Yes, yes, yes.
And have covered a case with Cardi B recently,
Absolutely.
and had a chance to kind of hear her heart. One thing about Cardi, we know she's always very authentic and very honest about her feelings, and she's been very, very honest about how some social media bullying has hurt her and her family. And kudos to Essence for that beautiful coverage, and kudos to the two of them, because a lot of times we see, and I'm not going to say any names, but we'll see celebrity couples get together and they won't include the
The kids,
entire family.
right? The entire family.
But I love the fact that they have their entire family, the blended family there in a cohesive. It says a lot for both of them. So I think it's gorgeous. I think that Essence has done a great job. The photographer is, we don't work for Essence Magazine, Daryl. So I'm sure Essence has a photographer that has the photographer credited there. I'm not sure actually who shot it, but I did see that the pictures are beautiful, as are the pictures for Tiana and Iman and their two little girls. But I just think it's a great look for Essence, and it's fresh and new, but it still captures what we grew up knowing from the magazine. So I think it's a great direction.
A lot of essence in it. In essence, this right here brought really, put the publication on the map. Everyone picked up the cover. Like
Hmm.
when I say
Hmm.
picked it up, it was just a beautiful cover. And just think about this: Cardi can go from doing a song with Summer Walker,
Summer Walker.
and then heading up to the Bronx and do a drill song, and then she can get on the cover of Essence. I mean, this girl is so uh, uh,
She's versatile.
multi-dimensional. It's
She's
just
versatile. She
versatile.
she could do WAP. She could do a WAP song, and she's still, and yet be the picture of family values. Right.
Right. Well, she loves. That's one thing. It's undeniable. She loves her family, and
Yeah.
she's shown it in so many ways. So when someone attacks her family, she comes out fighting
Right.
hard.
As she should. As she
Right.
should. I love it. I love it. I am two thumbs up. 10. I think they did a great job. I think it's a great way to celebrate family and, just her success. And we see that she is the example of the woman who truly has it all. She has an amazing career. She's got, her marriage is in a great place, and they've got a beautiful family. So kudos to them.
Side note: she has every song on the album has went platinum on the album.
Wow.
She's last time she did the album 2019. and that song is, every song on the album is platinum
Yeah,
or
that's
diamond or diamond. I mean, it's out of here.
yeah. Man, she's killing it. And I think the reason for me, the reason that Cardi kills it is because she's authentic. She is who she is. She's comfortable in her skin. She says what she thinks. And I think it's dope. I think the fact that her son is named Wave and her daughter is Culture, they are the typical millennials. Like,
Absolutely.
that is so telling of who they are. They're definitely trendsetters. Offset, it's just great. I love it. I love it. I love it. So you guys, let me know what you think. Everybody say nice photo, beautiful cover. Speaking of females in rap, the next topic we got to talk about is Meg the Stallion. Did you have a chance to hear the song that Meg released during Coachella?
I actually did, and it was covered on. We covered it. It was covered on TMZ, and when the song came out, while she didn't say his name directly, the shots were fired. The shots were fired, and it was actually, when you perform a song like that on such a big stage,
Yeah.
you know, it reached a lot of people.
Oh, it reached everybody because not only did it reach everyone that was there at Coachella, but then of course people were on their phones recording and it was circulating all over the net. And so you all did TMZ did cover it, and she actually Meg says that she never confirmed exactly that it was about Tory Lanez, but of course everybody's making those assumptions. And so she said that it
Timing is everything.
I think it's her. But let me ask you this. So for me, we understand that he just got reprimanded for tweeting at her, right? So
Absolutely.
with her making a song, could his team come back and use this against her in some way?
I don't think so. She's a recording artist. She's a part of the hip hop culture, and it's artistic form. And
Mhm.
even if she said his name, uh, which she is smart not to, because if it goes to a jury trial, they're going to look at, this is a tick for tack. There was rumored that there was alcohol involved in that situation,
Mhm.
and then the fact that he made a song and admitted in his song that he was, messing with two women, her best friend, maybe. He said he was messing with her best friend. He didn't say her name per se,
Yeah.
but you know, you can make the deduction that he was obviously talking about her because
Mhm.
people knew that there was a fight, perhaps about, you know,
About him.
right, about him.
That's what everyone is alleging. So Meg did give us a statement. She said the song is very MF and personal to me, and it's to whom the F it may concern. I really feel like the ladies will mess with me on this and tell the DJs to drop it. She says, um, dudes, there's this line that she has that basically is kind of using a line that Tory Lanez had. So she's definitely being very bold about it.
Do you remember the
Um,
line, the bars the verse?
well, it says
This is a PG show, isn't it?
this is a PG show.
Okay, so all
So
right.
there's a line about how Dick don't run me. And of course, Tory himself used the same term not long ago on Twitter. But, you know, my thing is, she talks about the fact that nobody would want him if not for her. The fact that a lot of the women that he's attracting now are attracted to him because of the fact that they know that there was something going on with he and Meg. And I do think that's true. I think that there are times when someone dating someone that's hot can upgrade or give
I was
it's
about
a
to
good
ask you
look.
that.
Yeah.
So you think that he did it for the clout, or was there genuine love?
I don't know about love. I think he probably, I mean, she's a beautiful girl. She's popular. She seems very personable. I'm sure he was attracted to her, but I do think that I will say this. I don't think that Tory Lanez, he's a dope artist, but I don't think that people see him as a sex symbol. I think I'm safe to say that.
Well,
Um,
I think
well,
it's someone for everyone.
it's
I
someone
think,
for everyone,
yeah.
but I just don't think that women were, that was his pull. His pull was he's got this cool vibe and he's dope as an artist. But I think probably some of the women that have been attracted to him probably are because Meg talks about sex all the time. You would assume if she's dealing with somebody, he probably is,
Putting it
Really?
down.
Put it down. Yeah. Yes. Yes, Dennis. That's exactly what I was hinting at. So I think that could be that. We
So
can't say that he didn't get
big things
more.
come in small packages.
Well, yes. Yes. Tiffany says Tory is for the streets. I,
Yeah.
you know, I think most, well, let me not say that, but yes, question to you. If he's reprimanded for adding her, you don't think that her team could come back and suggest, I mean, his team could come back and suggest that she shouldn't be able to do that to him because she is being very
Nah,
bold.
she's an alleged victim, and I think that based on him just being reprimanded, they're going to say that now she's being the defense is being petty. I don't think that's going to play a factor even with this song. I think that
Okay.
she's if she pushes she shouldn't have responded to him in the first place
Right.
when that happened. But again, this well, I was making 25 years old.
I think she's like 26, 27 now.
Yeah, so it, they don't have some of them don't have the discipline to deal with someone in that manner and just say let's wait, play it out. She's an artist. She wants to be,
Yeah.
I don't know if she understand the full magnitude of how this case is going to go. And
Right.
I don't think Tory did either, because he was foolishly making comments
They
that
both have been talking a lot. And I will say this about Meg. I said this about Cardi because I like the fact that she is very authentic. That's one thing about Meg. She's going to state she will not let anyone take her voice, right? With her
right, right.
management, she was beefing with her management. She put that out. And I mean, I remember thinking like, I'm from the old school music industry, like, ooh, you don't put that information out. But she was very bold and was like, I'm not, they're robbing me. I mean, she was very, very honest and vocal about the issues that she was having with her contract.
Why do you think that back then you shouldn't have, why do you think there was you had to be very cautionary how you responded to situations like that? The obvious reason, you get blackballed.
Right. I was like, obviously, other people wouldn't want to work with you when they see how you handle conflict, right? So if you handle conflict by being loud, of course, times have changed and now people go to social media and air things out. But that tells me if I'm a record label, I don't necessarily want someone on that's going to bring that type of negativity. We've got to be able to solve problems and handle things without taking it to the public because it can backfire and reflect badly on everyone. But sometimes I do think, especially now in today's climate, people can get things taken care of a lot quicker when you do go to a public audience.
Yeah, I mean, it's a blessing and a curse with social media. I say
Right.
this all the time, but we have to see how that case plays out.
Yeah. Well, I we got to move on. We got to move on to the next case, and this one is I don't know. I'm tired, as I'm sure everyone is, of constantly talking about the Kardashians every day. I have never done a news cycle where there was not mention of the Kardashians, but this is Blac Chyna is finally getting her day in court with against the Kardashians. And what I hear is that she's suing them for $100 million. We did see that Tokyo Tony, her mother, who they have had a very estranged relationship, but I guess they have mended. Right now they're in a good place. And
Well,
Tony posted that this week was the beginning of her daughter going to court and the Kardashians having to lay some more golden eggs for her baby, if you will. So this case is it's been on hold for a while, but it's basically dealing with the fact that Blac Chyna is suggesting that the Kardashians sabotaged her ability to make money because she had a television show and they sabotaged it, is what she's suggesting. They're saying that tweets will be entered into the case between her and Kim and different people like that. So I wanted to ask you, how can she prove? Is there a way to prove that the Kardashians were behind her show being canceled? If the ratings were low, I mean, how would she be able to prove that in a court of law?
Well, today, Vardia started, which is the picking up the jury. That's going to be a process because this case is expected to last a couple of weeks. Uh, the way you can prove that is by text messages or someone coming in to testify. And there's rumor that there will be private messages between the production that
Mhm.
offer the situation, as well as between Chris Jenner,
Right.
uh, and she was offered $1 million a year, but she's now claiming that she lost 100 million, and I
Mhm.
believe the suit is for 300 million,
Mm,
not 100 million, 300 million,
okay.
and because I'm covering the case now, I had to fly to LA to cover the case. I would say that I can't say too much on it because I don't want people to say he's biased.
Yeah, he's biased. Right.
No, so but I do think that she has a chance. And what I'm surprised is that because the Kardashians is a very powerful brand,
Mhm.
the brand is worth billions. Each one of them are worth a boatload of money. Why
Mhm.
didn't they just settle it? Was
Right.
that even an option? So this is going to play out. No cameras in the courtroom
Mm,
unless the judge signs off of it. But they've been fighting not to get cameras in the courtroom.
yeah.
Uh, so,
Interesting.
but I don't have a problem with that because I love coming in there and taking notes and give them the blow, but gavel to gavel.
We'll get the sketch. I like the sketches. Let me ask you this, because the Kardashians' new show debuted on Hulu, I think a couple of weeks ago, and
I
there's
haven't
so
seen
much.
it.
I didn't watch it either, but I did. I mean, of course, you don't have to watch it because social media is going to give you the clips. I saw earlier today that Chris, actually Kim, talked about the sex tape and that there was possibly another sex tape, and then she said that was just a joke. Um, and people were trying to figure out, was she really joking? Ray J is like, I don't want anything to do with this. I have a family. I've moved on. And then, of course, there was conversation about Chloe and her reaction when she learned that Tristan really did have a baby with someone else, and that was fathered during the time they were together. We saw her response to that, and her saying that she was numb and she really wasn't in a lot of pain. I think, to your point, this could have been handled. I think the Kardashians are making an example with Blac Chyna because we know that this family is very strategic with everything that they do. And for them to allow this to go on to this point and for them to go to court, they definitely do not, they're not going to back down. So it's going to be
Well, I might think it
interesting.
might be the other way around. Black China might be making them an example because of their power, and this is another case of David and Goliath.
Yeah.
And how you know they've actually Black China has won some motions.
Okay.
That and the fact is, if she's not backing down, in order to to resolve something, you got to agree to a settlement.
Yeah.
You know, we don't know if there was a discussion of a settlement. We don't know if they said, "Hey, take 5 million and keep it pushing." She's not
Right.
taking $5 million.
No, she's definitely not. She's a couple weeks
I
ago,
commend Black China for going against the
the Kardashians.
right. I
It's interesting because the other person that was a David to the Goliath was Jordan Woods, and we saw the way the Kardashians really kind of abandoned Jordan and really put her in a position where it looked like they were blaming her for the situation with Tristan. And surprisingly enough, the people that came to her aid that said we're not going to allow the Kardashians to bully you was Will and Jada Smith. You remember that Jordan Wood's father worked for Will Smith, and
right.
he
And
said
they
that,
had no red table talk intervention.
yep, they did, but I appreciated the fact of a black couple coming to her aid and saying we're not going to allow you to be blackballed or just thrown out to dry by this family when you haven't done anything. Her side needs to be told as well. And we know Jordan's gone on. She's got a retail line. She's doing well, but Will and Jada interceding and speaking on her behalf and giving her that opportunity to share her story, I think really kept her from being seen as the Jezebel that stole Chloe's boyfriend at the time. So it'll
Are
be
you suggesting
interesting.
that the Kardashians is responsible for the stuff that's happening with Will right now in the background? Like maybe because Blac Chyna is accusing of phone calls being made in the you know in the background. So I don't know.
That's
This
a
is
good point.
mm,
I think nothing is beneath Kris Jenner. And
mm,
I know that they did not like the fact that Will and Jada stood up and said, this is not going to happen. They didn't say anything negative about the Kardashians, but Jada was very clear that she was not going to allow a member of her extended family to be bullied by the Kardashian family. So
mm,
interesting,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
interesting and ironic there.
A different angle here to look at.
Yeah.
Chris, we see you over there, Chris.
Weaving that boss lady magic.
Right.
Well, if you are just joining or just tuning in, please make sure that you like and share this broadcast. We are talking hot topics today. This is a reality check exclusive, and I have one of the most respected journalists in the business, Mr. Dennis Byron, has joined me today, and we've talked about, of course, Cardi B and Offset's beautiful Essence cover, and the fact that they unveiled their children, their baby's name with Essence. I got to go back to that and just say that I appreciate that so much because we know in times past that celebrities would immediately take the baby's name and the stories, the wedding pictures, the family pictures to other outlets. But
Right.
for Cardi and Offset to make a point to share this with Essence, that's huge. That's
That's
huge.
big. They
That's
didn't do it.
huge.
People magazine.
Yep.
They didn't do it. I don't know if I know I can't even say that people the Essence don't have the check like People magazine does, but their brand has definitely gotten more value. Because it went through like I think how many transitions? Like two or three?
Yeah, I know it's been at least two. It might have been three, but this one I feel like is the right one because we see the proof. The
Oh yeah, the
direction is
quality.
fresh
Oh, the
and it's
quality.
it's it's on point. I gotta say, as you have your own media outlet, Hip Hop Enquirer. You all make sure that you're following and definitely subscribe to Hip Hop Enquirer. But that's your platform, and of course I work for Rolling Out here as the editor for relationships and conversation and director of creative partnerships. It's so important for our Black and brown talent to support our outlets. We are out here supporting you all and telling your story in a voice that represents you. And I feel like when we see one of those stories go to people or go to Life and Style, we love the content, but it's something special about sharing it with our own. And I think that I guarantee you that Tiana Taylor and Cardi making that statement, there's going to be a lot more coverage. And I think it's going to definitely do something to boost the way we Black talent see Black media. So kudos to Cardi again, setting trends. That's super dope
Absolutely.
for
That
both of
that was
them.
that was huge. That was huge. And people are waiting for the next cover now.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, what are they going to possibly do next? Like, what can they possibly do next?
Will and Jada.
Will and Jada and the kids. Will and Jada actually, we should just be Will and Jada. You're right. That would be huge. That would be huge because we like to see comeback stories. We know they're going to work it out. We know that they're going to figure it out. We know Will is going to continue to be the A-lister perfectionist. He's just a man of excellence. He had a low moment, but everyone does, and I definitely think
Totally.
that story. I can't wait to hear his perspective on it.
You might not never hear it if they settle. You might never hear it.
But you know what? I don't see them doing that because Chris Rock is someone that, and I don't know if you're a big Chris Rock fan. Chris Rock is my absolute favorite comedian. I'm also a big Will Smith fan. And one of the things I do know about Chris Rock is he is very he's honest, right? So yes, he's going to make some jokes about others, but he's also going to be very open and transparent about his own struggles. He's talked about his struggles with his divorce, his struggles trying to fit in and kind of feeling out of sorts, especially, in Hollywood and different places. So I think that he is not the type of person that would want something totally sealed. I think he's probably waiting for the right time to talk about it. And I think the same thing with Will. We saw Will waited. I mean, look how long it took for him and Janet Hubert to come to a moment, that
Yeah,
moment where they sat down, but that happened and he did share it. So and even the Red Table Talk with it, that his production company, he and Jada's production company produces, they are very honest about. I mean, they told they told the public that Jada had an affair with one of their son's friends. So I don't see them.
That right there.
I don't see these are the type of
Well,
people that are
well,
going to
it
keep
came out.
something.
How did it come out in the first place? I don't think it started at the Red Table Talk. It was some rumors that was.
There were rumors. Well, let's be honest, and you know this. There have been rumors forever about the Smiths and if how their marriage works. If their marriage was open, there were rumors, and I think that the rumors came to a head. And with this platform, Jada saw an opportunity to be honest herself and get the ratings. And I'm sure that had to be the highest rated Red Table Talk ever.
The highest. And in the Jordan Woods, that was pretty high rated. I think those
She's
were the
had
top
a
ones.
lot of good ones. I mean, Kevin Hart talked about his situation at the Red Table. There's been constant
Okay.
just real conversations. And that is one thing that Jada said, I'm ready for some healing. So I was like, here, she's definitely angling for a conversation at the Red Table about what happened at the Oscars. So I don't see this being sealed. I think this is going to eventually, we're going to get a chance to hear from both guys, both men. And I think that if they're able to handle a certain way, it can perhaps help with other people, other younger people that look up to them, seeing there's a better way to handle your situation. There's a way to come back. So I'm hoping that the two of them will be able to have a conversation. I don't know that Chris Rock would go to the Red Table, but if he would, I think that would be an amazing moment for black entertainment.
You and I never talked about the video that was surfacing on the internet where she was recording him and he didn't want her recording him. What did you think about that video? Was it uncomfortable for you watching?
It was uncomfortable for me to watch, and I was really sad to see that. And I think it speaks to the fact that there's a feeling among their people that watch them and support them that Jada doesn't have his back in the same way that he appears to have hers. In Will's biography, he's very clear about the fact that he does not want his marriage to end. He believes in maintaining the marriage by any means necessary, and that he tries to figure out how to make her happy. And there was actually when they talked at the Red Table, they talked about their marriage. This is even before this came out with August, and Will acknowledge that he was Jada cried every day, all day for like a month straight. He couldn't figure out how to make her happy, and then finally he had to realize it wasn't his job. But we see a pattern in this couple of Will constantly he's a perfectionist and trying to figure it out. And Jada also has said that she did not want to be married. She was not into traditional marriage, and she didn't seem like she was really excited about the fact that she was getting married. She got pregnant, and then her mother said, they talked about the fact that the mother said, you guys got to get married. Jada didn't. She was clear about not wanting to get married. I wanted to ask you, as a man, what did you think when you heard her saying that she didn't want a tradition, didn't want to be in a traditional marriage? How did that make you feel as a man that would, if you ask a woman to marry you and she agrees and you hear her talk about how sad it made her, how would that make you feel?
It would shatter my ego. It would shatter me, to think that, we went, I invested all this in this woman. You know, I thought I was almost misled.
Yeah,
But if he had any inkling that she felt that way going before he's saying I do, then he probably should have took a step back and and said, well, maybe I should respect this, because you can't force someone to be with you, and
right,
if she's still harboring bad feelings because of that, you know, you know, it will likely be something that will ultimately come back and bite both of them. And I don't
right.
know if it's this situation here with the Oscars or something down the. Well, look at I mean, allegedly you had an affair with a 25-year-old. I mean, that's not something that you know happens every day with two high profile people, and I think his ego might be hurt with that. I think a man can take so much of that type of situation.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, not only I have to interject, not only was he younger, around 25, 26 years old, but he also had issues, mental health issues, and
yeah,
even,
that's a problem.
there's a lot going on. And I think we definitely live in a society, a culture that has a double standard, because if that had been reversed, and Will had been dealing with a much younger woman that was one of Willow's friends who had mental health issues and had been confiding in him as a confidant, and he ended up having a sexual entanglement, we would have crucified him, you know. But I think people kind of look the other way.
How did she get the pass? How did you give how did how did she get the pass?
I
And
think Jada is just, the culture really, really F's with Jada. Like, she has that street cred because she, I don't know if it's the Tupac connection or just I think she is very, very grounded and she speaks with integrity, and and people really, really connect with her, especially women. But I think she gets a pass. I think um, she's a cultural force, very different than others.
how would
Um,
you feel as a mother? You have a son or was around
I would
August's
have been,
age,
I'd have been furious. If that was my son, I'd have been furious. I'd have been
right?
furious because you could tell, even in the conversations, um, that he was very much enamored with her and not aware. He's thinking that this is the love of his life, and because he's young and he doesn't know any different. I mean, Jada Pinkett Smith is a huge Hollywood star. She's married to one of the biggest stars Hollywood has ever seen, and she's sleeping with him. He's a talented artist, but I mean, he's
And
definitely
she's
not.
walking the red carpet with him.
She Hey, so anyway, what do you let me know what you guys think? Deja Vu said she needed sexual healing. What's up, Kyle Crawford? Thank you so much for checking in. We got one more topic we got to talk about, and this one is a little awkward, I will say. Benzino has been consistently in the news. It is crazy that Benzino has been a trending topic, but Benzino has been trending for the last couple of weeks. This is Benzino and transgender model Shauna Brooks. And there's a few things going on with Benzino that I want to get your opinion about. The first is, of course, Shauna Brooks. Somehow this recording got leaked with her conversation with Benzino, where it's clear that they're having a conversation about why someone like Benzino could not be seen out with her. Benzino came out and said that that was for a movie role that he was playing, and they were having a conversation. Since that that audio has been released, Benzino did come up with some receipts. I don't know how authentic these receipts are, but he did come up with receipts showing that they were working on a project together that did not come out, and that he's never met her. He said he's never actually met her in person. This was a conversation on the phone because of a project they were working on. So I don't know. When I listened to the audio, I listened to it again today. It just doesn't feel like something that was done for a movie, but we don't hear the beginning. So context is really important. Now, the second part of this is Benzino has released a diss track against his daughter, which is a whole nother issue. Like, Benzino just seems to find ways to stay on in the media. So he's released his daughter, Coy Leray, is doing really well. They obviously have a strained relationship. She's mentioned the fact that when she was growing up, Benzino went through financial struggles. He did not want that information shared. He was very upset about that. And he has a new diss record against his daughter. So,
Let me talk about the first part.
okay.
And fair disclosure, I worked with the Source magazine,
Mm-hmm.
early on in this inception. I also with Hip Hop Weekly. So I have a long relationship with Benzino professionally.
Mm-hmm.
And I will also say that I've spent time around him, and I personally have never seen anything that would make me feel uncomfortable as a heterosexual man being around him. Secondly, I listened to the audio recording, and if I had to do a story, that's why I haven't touched the story, because there were things missing. There were there it wasn't a clear enough audio recording that would make me think that this actually happened. And the fact he never met her, and then she had real receipts by way of text, by way of video recordings of them going out, because if she was recording this, then she had obviously some. If she was recording it if it was they actually were talking about a movie, then this would might have been some type of content that she wanted have just to for refresher. But this seems
Mhm.
like this was more nefarious, you know, in which the way she recorded it and in the way she released it. And he say he never met her. So I'm trying to understand if he's saying he never met her and she can't provide any receipts
Right.
of anything. Because if you meet someone, you and she has a habit of recording, then produce the recording where he says, "Well, I'll meet you here. Show me something where we're going to be at the restaurant or at the Red Roof Inn or well any hotel where it would something that would show that you guys I say guys, excuse me, uh, Ray and Shauna are meeting up somewhere. So
Right.
I wasn't running with the story. And the other part to that would be that um, those videos that were released weren't actually the people are reporting, and this is very important. People have reported that the Brazelton arrest occurred recently. That
Mhm.
that was 5 years ago,
Yeah.
and then this recording with Shauna was 2 years ago.
Right.
How does all this stuff happen to surface all of a sudden, unless there's
Mhm.
someone is perhaps creating some type of smear campaign? You got to look at timing.
Yeah.
It only came out because someone pulled the body cam.
Mhm.
And why pull the body cam 5 years ago? Unless there was something else nefarious happening. So I have to be very cautious in me trying to say, well, this is it's and the other part to that is why why is it so um acceptable for someone to put that kind of shame on another man, and people are running with that instead of giving this guy the benefit of the doubt. Why are people rushing to say, "Oh, this guy, he"? It's just weird for me. It's nothing in. You got to imagine this guy's been in the industry for over 30 something
I
years,
know. I met Benzino. I've interviewed him. I've talked to him. I
but you
also
never
know.
heard anything like this before. You
No,
never heard
no. In
rumors about
fact,
this
I
ever.
have a good friend that worked with him, and I asked him, did he, what did he think about it? And he said, well, actually, I had a conversation with Benzino, and he told me that he likes young women. He was like, yeah, I like them like 25, between 25 and 29. So that's definitely. I was like, that sounds about right, but. I don't, I haven't heard that. I agree with you in
Young
that.
woman, real
Right.
woman.
He said women.
Right,
He said
right,
women.
right.
I think we're in a weird time period also. And I think that if he was having a conversation, because we know in the entertainment industry, there's no way you can't be homophobic, or if you are, you're gonna they're coming for you. It's cancel culture time. So for him to be on the phone with her, I can see why he would be, you know, um, trying to be agreeable and I don't want no trouble. Like, well,
Right, right. If you listen to everything, you got as journalists, we had to listen to the way he said it,
right.
how he said it, and then there was also a slice in the recording and it's shifted. So you have to listen to it's plausible. The way he explained it was very plausible.
Yeah.
I mean, would it stand the test in a jury trial? That I'm sure a jury wouldn't convict him on this because it's things that are missing here.
That's
And then
funny. Private person says, I don't know if she speaks with integrity, but Jada sure knows how to string words together and people are charmed. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. She speaks, she's a great public speaker,
she
right? I
is.
remember I remember years ago I worked at a school for a short period of time and the instructor there would teach young people how to speak in a way that was commanding, right? So that you would pay attention to them and Jada has that
Or
way.
mesmerizing.
She is
Right,
mesmerizing. And so I
right.
agree. I could have misspoke with integrity, but I meant that she has a way of capturing your attention. And I think she does come off very authentic to the culture. But back to Benzino. I'm sorry, I just saw that comment. Back to Benzino. Timing is important. He and his daughter, I always think it's heartbreaking when there's
No, and
issues
that's
with
another
parents and
issue
children,
there with the
period.
music. Like, why
But
are
to
you
see
doing
them,
that?
yeah, that's unfortunate, and it's hopefully they'll work it out. But one thing we know about family is they're going to be family, so they have time to work it out. We can get caught up in what they're doing, but that's still his daughter, that's still her father, and there's always an opportunity for redemption with that. That's my
I,
opinion on that.
yeah, but just to doing a diss track against your daughter, I don't know. That's just not cool. You
No,
supposed
no, it's not. It's
It's not cool
definitely
at
not.
all. I definitely not endorsing that. I know it's hip hop, but find someone. First
No.
of all, I want to see Mulatto perhaps doing or someone in her own age bracket. I'm not trying to steal my daughter's shine at
Yeah.
all. I'm trying
Yeah.
to uplift her.
Yeah. And I would think with him being part of the source and having the hip hop roots that he does, that he would be extremely proud, that his daughter is having the success that she is. I know
I know he's
everyone.
proud. He's proud. No, no. Listen, when he talked about the Nicki Minaj collabo, I
Hmm.
mean, he's proud that his daughter was collabo with Nicki. I
Okay.
think he might have he almost, he could have
Almost messed it up, right?
messed the deal up, but I think that he was very proud. And I still want to know what was his reasoning behind creating this diss track. I haven't even heard it yet.
Well, I don't think there is a reason. I can't imagine what the reason would be, but um, you know, it's just unfortunate. I don't think family issues should be played out in the public forum, whether those issues are, with what's going on with Will and Jada. Like that's really none of the public's business. And when they share it with the public, it allows for all this stuff to happen. But I appreciate you, Dennis Byron, for hanging out with me today here at Reality Check. I wanted to have you come by the radio station, but this is just as good because we
This
get
is
a chance
good.
to see you. And
Absolutely.
when you get back from LA, we definitely want you to stop by. Please let people know where they can follow you if they're not already, so that they can keep up with this real time reporting that you do, so that they will know everything that is happening. I gotta say, I would be remiss if I did not mention that you have done like award winning journalism on numerous cases, including the R. Kelly case. Your information was the one that so many other sites pulled from. Same thing with this Cardi B and Tasha K case. I mean, there's so many things, and even more, so many other
A lot of
cases that
cases. I
you have
think
done that
that
are high profile, Usher, like so many big profile cases. So I would say, if you are into pop culture and you want to know the real, not the fake news, but what's really happening in the court cases, this is definitely the journalist that you need to be following, because he has the perspective from the legal side, which is so important when it comes to things like we talked about with Meg the Stallion and Tory Lanez, and even the situation with the Kardashians and Blac Chyna. It's one thing what the public thinks, but it's another thing what the court of law says, and that's what you
absolutely,
do a great job
absolutely.
of being able to share and put down and break down in layman's terms for the rest of us.
And for those who want to follow me, please follow my Twitter page at Mr. Dennis Byron, and that's also my Instagram. But I tweet a lot. I was called the Twitter blogger, but no, I tweet a lot. I think tweeting, with tweeting, it gives other journalists an opportunity to obviously pick up the story, and other media outlets that want to pick up the story. And like you said, I've been cited in a lot of
Yeah.
publications. And pretty much, thank you for having me on your show. I
Okay.
appreciate
Natalie
it.
says she just followed you. So of course I support real. You guys know if I have someone on here, of course we're gonna talk to talent regardless. But if I have a guest on here that's a colleague, is definitely someone that I respect and that I know is gonna bring real journalism, because I believe in that. I went to school for that, and I'm always honored to have colleagues that you see that type of commitment to the craft, so especially now, because people take headlines, and things can be so attention getting, but a lot of times there's no truth or
There's no
substance to
truth,
it.
no substance to it. And
Yeah.
they get you there, clickbait you there, and then you get there, you're like, well, I'm here, no one's here.
Yep. Yep. There's nothing there.
There's
There's
nothing
nothing there.
there.
Well, thank you again. I know you've got a plane to catch, and we will connect. And like I said, we'll have you come back, and I definitely will be over on your page. We collaborate a lot and are doing some great content. So you guys make sure to be looking out for that.
Yeah, watch my coverage when I'm out reporting live outside the courtroom, because there's no cameras allowed. Uh, but we're gonna, Chris, Kim, China, and the whole clan. I'm coming.
Well, I
Save a
can't
seat
wait.
for me.
When I tell you guys, I am locked in. I am locked in. I want to see what happens with this case. I am locked and loaded. If Blac Chyna wins this settlement against the Kardashians, that is going to be a huge ordeal. Much like, I think Cardi B winning this case with Tasha K is huge, because I've worked as a publicist for years, and I know how often I've had clients hurt and upset over lies that have been said about them that have hurt their family. We had a situation, and actually, I called you, Dennis, because one of my clients had something on media takeout, and I
Right.
needed help getting to the owner in a timely way, because what was printed was something that was very hurtful to that person's family. And Fred immediately took it down and
Absolutely.
apologized.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so I think that there's something to be said for people that do what they do with integrity, and I think there's also something to be said for those of us that uncover it when it's not. So
And I would say that if you don't have haters out here, you're probably not doing something right.
right.
And look at some of the biggest platforms and some of the journals that talk about uncomfortable topics. They're attacked too.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're attacked too. So if you see someone attacking someone, think about the person's motivation behind why they're doing it, more so than the person they're attacking.
Then they're attacking.
And why are they, why are they spending more time talking about you than they are spending about building their own brand up?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if they say if you're not popping, if they're not talking about you not popping.
Yeah, if you ain't popping, if nobody's talking about you, you're not popping, and if you're not popping, then you're not making any money. But
Hey,
I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys so much. My chat is always so supportive, and we're definitely trying to get to 30,000. Thank you guys so much for
are you gonna
helping me
get
with
there?
that. We're
Yeah, as
working
a matter of
towards
fact, I'm gonna tell my
30,000.
people to follow yours. Yes, you're gonna get there.
We got big things coming, big things coming. But we definitely will keep up with you, Dennis. Have a safe flight, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. All right, rolling out. Well, thank you all for tuning in for this very different version of Reality Check. It's a little, trending topics, doing something a little different. So I'm glad that you guys tuned in. I have some big things coming up later in the week. There's a new relationship show that I can't wait to share with you guys more information about. And of course, you guys know we always are coming back with Ready to Love. If you did not check out Put a Ring on It, the after show, it aired today on OWN. Please go over to OWN and check it out. Kojo from Little Black Book and I, along with Dr. Nicole, got all up in the business of the couples that we have on that show. There is Shorty Mac and Kenneth, Otis and Charlie and Shay and Fonzo. And child, it is off the chain. When I tell you off the chain, off the chain. And there's a new show coming, like I said, that we're going to be doing some content on as well. Everything for relationships is right here on this channel. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure if you are watching on Facebook that you like and share this broadcast with others, and the same thing on YouTube. And as always, I love you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time. All right.